Orlando Brown Jr., Super Bowl champ, offensive tackle for the Chiefs. 4 Pro Bowls in 5 seasons in the NFL. Kind enough to join us before the big day, the big parade. What's the schedule today, Orlando?
Man, right now I'm start my morning off with you. We'll head up to the stadium around 9:30. I think we leave the stadium for around 10:30. I think the parade starts sometime around then. Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it.
Teammate most likely to be drinking now is who?
That's a really good question. Man, Creed Humphrey for sure.
Okay. I would have thought Kelsey.
Yeah, he's probably up there, but Creed Humphrey for sure.
The lineman on one float. Do you guys?
Yes, we are. Yeah, we are. Yep. I think every position group's got their own situation. So I'm pretty sure we got our own little trolley or whatever they call it, double decker.
Now, do you bring your own drink, or is it supplied for you?
That's a good question too. I do know that Creed's got some Boulevard beer for us, which is super popular here in Kansas City. But yeah, I'll probably have my own bottle of something with me as well.
Okay, I don't want you walking out like Tom Brady did when they had that boat parade. Okay, where it looked like he was seasick and he had his tequila and he threw the trophy. So just be careful there. Pace yourself.
It won't be anything crazy for me like that.
The Super Bowl party, how would you describe it?
Oh, man, super cool, man. It was super cool. Like, obviously it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to even play in the game, let alone win it. And, man, I mean, you just felt that energy, honestly, all week. And, man, it was so gratifying, to get that win. Gosh, man, it was truly special.
All right, take me into halftime. What was said at halftime?
Yeah, at halftime, man, gosh, it was a clear message, hey, we got to go take this. And if we want to win this game, to beat this really good football team, we're going to have to go take it. And, I mean, man, that was communicated from the moment we sat down in there, through all of the leaders, through Coach Reed, through Coach EB, understanding the circumstances, man, that this is a really good football team. And the margin of error in any game is super slim. And against a team in the Super Bowl like that we just played, the margin of error was even smaller. And, I mean, man, they turned the ball over once and still only lost by 3 points.
Okay, wait a minute. You're not letting us in on the biggest message that Andy Reid said to you guys about Rihanna.
Y'all heard about the Rihanna story?
Yes.
What did he say? He said, if you want to watch Rihanna, just keep on walking. Something like that. I remember he said something like that. If you want to see Rihanna, just keep on walking. Coach Reed's the best, man.
Were guys trying to sneak out to see her perform?
No, they weren't.
Okay.
But yeah, that's just Coach Reed being Coach Reed.
The offensive line, we had heard about the offensive line, obviously what happened against Tampa Bay, and then that was the big question mark. And here's the Eagles. They got all of these sacks, second most in NFL history in a season.
Yep.
How did you guys take that going into this Super Bowl as a group?
Yeah, man. I mean, it showed up on film. I think they're definitely were the top unit this year as far as rushing the passer, top to bottom. They did an amazing job all year creating one-on-ones. Hassan Reddick had a great year rushing the passer as well. And they got a really good system, great coverage schemes, the way that they mix things up. Their DC did a really good job of all of that. We knew we were going to have our hands full. But, man, the understanding in our offensive line room is we set a really high standard. Individually and collectively. And, man, going into that game, it was understood it was going to be on us. And, something that I spoke about to the guys on Saturday was, pressure is a privilege. We heard all the talk about the 85 Bears and how similar this defensive front is and all of those different things about what they've got and all that. But at the end of the day, man, I think the tougher team and the more physical team won.
What did you say after the game? No sacks, 0 sacks?
Put it on the T-shirt.
Put it on a bleeping T-shirt, I think is what you said.
That's exactly what I said.
Why didn't Mahomes bring you to Disney World, the entire group, the offensive line?
Yeah. Man, honestly, Pat does so much for us, man. That's probably the one thing I didn't necessarily want to do. I enjoyed spending time with my family, not having to wake up at 6 a.m. to catch a flight to LA.
Yeah, and what's that feeling like when you give up a sack and Mahomes is there on the ground? Like, do you say anything?
Oh, yeah, I mean, like as an offensive lineman, it's that's obviously the worst thing that can happen to us. And for an O lineman, man, to give up a sack period, it's always a super uncomfortable feeling. And man, especially don't let it be on third down or 2 minute or end the game. I mean, I can't tell you how bad of a feeling that is. But normally, I just kind of let them know, you know what I mean, or he'll say something to me like, "Hey, that's on me. I was drifting, I was floating, it was coverage," or he'll be like, "Block your guy." So,
We're talking to Orlando Brown Jr., Super Bowl champ, offensive tackle for the Chiefs. How bad was that field?
yeah, you know what? It was pretty bad, I would say. I didn't slip any at all. Like maybe I had one rep where I kind of slid sitting on a bull rush, but man, it was super soft. It was kind of like it was soft, like a very soft surface. Your cleat marks were clear in the ground and all of that. Um, I mean, man, I personally, I didn't have to wear my seven studs. I don't think it affected my game at all, but I know people on the other side of the ball seemed to be affected.
How many pairs of shoes, different shoes, did you bring to the Super Bowl? Cleats.
Man, I always bring three cleats. I've honestly never had a cleat malfunction, but I'm real weird about my uniform malfunctions. So I always at least keep three of everything.
What are you going to do with your Super Bowl uniform?
Man, I've got it here. I'm gonna hang it up. I've got all my cleats from each game in this playoff series. I got my jersey, my uniform, have my helmet. Man, I'm gonna hang everything up and get it all framed.
Awesome. Explain the Lane Johnson move that he has off the ball, his get off.
Yeah.
Is that legal?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely I feel like it's legal. So often you hear, fans talk about or announcers talk about offensive linemen false starting. We want a false start here. We want this. I mean, listen, man, you're going against guys on the other side of the ball, especially when you're on silent cadence, especially on silent cadence. You're going against guys that are trying to use the snap count against you, that run 4.6s or below, that are great athletes, that are super long. And the way that Lane Johnson plays, he likes to beat guys to the spot. And his style of play is basically manipulating you by creating more space and allowing you to think that, oh, you have the inside, oh, you have the outside,
Well, why
and
don't
trapping.
guys? Why don't more guys do it?
Because I mean, Lane Johnson is one of the most elite players to ever play the position. His fundamentals, his athleticism, his length, his arms, his punch. I mean, top to bottom. I mean, he's one of the best to ever do it. And it's not necessarily anything that can be mimicked. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily, in my opinion, a
Hmm.
coach technique. You know what I mean? This is a Lane Johnson style of play. That's why very rarely do you see guys of his with his ability. And I mean, you could say that about all the top guys. You know what I mean? Trent Williams, Laramie Tunsil, Lane Johnson, Tristan Wirfs, all four of those guys. I mean, all their games are so different.
Help me understand the Eric Bieniemy
Mhm.
offensive coordinator position. Does he
Yeah,
is he calling the plays? Like just I don't. I'm trying to figure this out, Orlando. That here we
yeah,
are again. Eric Bieniemy may have to leave to be an OC someplace else to show that
yeah,
he can be an offensive coordinator, which
yeah.
I think that's his job title in Kansas City. What am I missing?
Yeah, man. Personally, man, it's like it sucks because I got a lot of respect for Coach EB, and I'm pretty sure he calls the plays. And man, and in KC, it is a collective effort. I feel like with as far as maybe what gets installed, but I know him and Coach Reed somewhere in there, like the plays are being called, through EB on the headset. And man, it's unfortunate, that so many of these opportunities have come up over the years, and he hasn't been able to get a head coaching job. And, it's come to the point where, oh, it's Patrick Mahomes and he's under Coach Reed, so we don't really know what he's capable of. And, man, it's unfortunate, the business side of things for him. But I feel as though, man, if he were to go somewhere else, if he were to become a head coach, were to become an OC somewhere else, I mean, he's going to have a ton of success.
Yeah, hopefully he gets an opportunity. make sure you protect Mahomes today too. Okay, it's not just in the game. You got to protect him. Make sure nothing happens to him.
I hear you. I'll try.
Have a good time, and congratulations, Orlando. Thanks for joining us.
Yep, thank y'all so much. Appreciate you having me on.
Orlando Brown Jr., Super Bowl champ, offensive tackle, 4-time Pro Bowl, offensive tackle in 5 seasons there.